What's happening, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Anthony Walker. Welcome to this Raw review. That's right. It's not just a Raw review, though. It is a Royal Rumble predictions review as well. That's right. I'm going to give you my predictions for the 2016 Royal Rumble event, which takes place this Sunday. Also, I'm going to give you the Raw review. So, without further ado, yes, ladies and gentlemen, I'm swagging the border top, as you can see right there, up the border. I don't know why I'm doing this. I know it's the old one yet, but hey, still got the badge on. It's still got the badge on. Mwah. Now, it is time, ladies and gents, for the Raw review, and we'll kick off with the Raw review, and I'll get to my predictions. I won't talk too much detail about some things that happened on Raw because of some of the matches that happened on Raw, because then I'll talk about it probably more in depth when I get to the Royal Rumble predictions, rather. 2016 Royal Rumble. And Royal Rumble, the Raw kicked off with Roman Reigns in the ring calling out Brock Lesnar after what happened last week. You know, the F5 and that. He wanted some of Brock Lesnar. Chris Jericho comes out. And then Rusev and the League of Nations come out and confront Chris Jericho and Roman Reigns. And get into a segment, talk back and forth, Rusev and Roman going back to his, Rusev rather, going back to his old self, the Clash Roman. Yeah, it was pretty decent at thing, and then all of it led to a match between Roman Reigns and Rusev, which I've seen probably more than at the moment right now. It feels like I've seen that more than I've seen the Randy Orton Sheamus match. Yeah, there's that, and there's the match between. It came up with a little difference on this match, though, this Roman versus Rusev match, because it had Chris Jericho as the special guest referee. Yay. And obviously, it all led to Roman beating Rusev, because Roman managed to... How can I put this? He managed to go... spear Rusev, get him in, get the victory. But it was all thanks to Jericho throwing out the League of Nations. The little card of track there. There's a lot to remember. And obviously, that tirade didn't sit well with Stephanie. Not that anyone cares. Yeah, I mean, it was what it was at the end of the day. It was what it was. And that whole thing came about, like I said, due to that. And that what led up to the highlight reel in the main event slot, which was Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar confrontation. Now, Roman Reigns called out Brock Lesnar. Brock came out, even though Paul Heyman came down and started shooting his mouth off. And, yeah, it just went on from there, basically. Shooting his mouth off, running his little filthy mouth off. And Brock came down and was looking to shut up Chris Jericho. That was until he walked into a spear from Roman Reigns. The beatdown ensued, and then another spear from Roman Reigns, which basically saw everything. And then the League of Nations came down. Brock took out the League of Nations. And then the Wyatts came down and took out Brock Lesnar and took their turn on Lesnar after taking out Roman Reigns. And, and the Wyatts, this Raw was the Raw for the Wyatts, basically, because it made them look incredibly strong. Taking out Lesnar, taking out Roman Reigns. beating the Dudley Boyz earlier on with Ryback in the match, which was, you know, a whatever match, to be honest. This was it, but that didn't make them look stronger. It was what happened in the main event that made them look stronger. Made them look very strong. Which was great. For the Wyatts, at least. Don't expect anything big out of them, you know, later on. Other than that, you know, it was very, very good nonetheless. But like I said, the Wyatts earlier on in the night beat Ryback and the Dudley Boyz, which was a no match, which no one cares about that match, quite frankly. And also, during that match, after that, was a Total Divas match between Natalya and Brie Bella, which Natalya won. The story of that match is there seems to be beef between Paige and Alicia Fox, considering the clip they played from Total Divas. But it's good to see Natalya winning matches, and Total Divas is back. It's back tonight, actually, in fact, as this is going out. I'm a big Total Divas fan, to be honest with you. I'd just rather watch them wrestle and beat each other up than watch a soap opera or reality show. Which is basically the breeding ground for the Divas division, which I've already said. Although it hasn't been that way for a while, which is fucking tremendous. My favorite moment of the evening, of the night rather, my favorite moment of the night was what I call it. My bad. Which was the Social Outcasts versus the Big Show. And yes, I did put Big Show and favorite thing in the same sentence. I know it's pretty hard to, you know, take that in, but Big Show was fucking epic in this. He faces what I call it, Heath Slater. Faces Heath Slater and chokeslams him, beats him, no questions asked on that one. And yeah, he beats Heath Slater and then knocks out every member of the Social Outcasts. You know, Curtis Axel tried to come in, get him some, did not work. Adam Rose goes to the top rope, gets cleanly knocked right off it. And then my favorite bit is Bo Dallas managed to avoid him the first time. He's on the outside. He starts dancing around, goes, "Yay, I survived," and runs all the way around the ring. Walks right into a right hand, which was fucking hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. And all the members of the Social Outcasts were left laying from the Big Show, which is why you consider the Big Show one of the favorites. But he seems to be a babyface now because he was cheering and thinking around with the fans, which was a couple of weeks ago. He planned on winning the Royal Rumble and shoving it up everyone's ass after winning the title at WrestleMania. But obviously, he won't be able to win the title at WrestleMania because whoever wins the Royal Rumble match will be the champion. Yeah, it's just unbelievable how you can turn somebody who was a heel a couple of weeks ago, threatening to stick the championship and win the title and win the Royal Rumble and shoving it up people's asses until a babyface. But hey, you know, it is what it is. At the end of the day, it is what it is. Other than that, ladies and gents, after that, Heath Slater debacle, which was a bit of a transformation, if you will, a Back to the Future moment, if you will. Back to 1999. Vince McMahon, Stephanie come out with this little roly thing, the little draw thing where you pick out the numbers of the for the Royal Rumble match that they used to do back in the day, probably still do to this day. I don't know. And the McMahons drew number 1 for Roman Reigns. 1999 called, and they want their slot back because they did exactly the same thing to Steve Austin, except it wasn't Stephanie, it was Shane McMahon back in the day. Oh, God. It's just, it's like, let's do the time warp again, for crying out loud. It was just ridiculous. Anyway, Becky Lynch and Tamina, and Becky beats Tamina and gets a shot at Charlotte. Apparently, Daddy stepped up and accepted the match on Charlotte's behalf, which didn't sit well with the champion. So, can Becky dethrone Charlotte at the Royal Rumble? More on that later. I won't go into too much detail. U.S. champion Sheamus and Alberto Del Rio, the U.S. champion, take on Dean Ambrose and Kalisto. Again, no big deal match, to be honest with you. It was just a tag match, which saw Alberto Del Rio. The rematch was announced as well. The Alberto Del Rio versus Kalisto at the Royal Rumble. Match 3, I think, out of this, the quote rubber match between the two. I thought Kalisto was injured, to be honest with you. I got told that he dropped the belt. He won the title last week on Raw and then dropped it on SmackDown because he was injured. Doesn't seem that way. Because if he was injured, he wouldn't be participating in the Rumble. But yeah, the match is on, and Del Rio and Sheamus beat Dean Ambrose and Kalisto with a little help from Kevin Owens as well. Not to mention that. Let's not forget about that as well. Kevin Owens did get involved because he's got beef with Dean Ambrose. Last man standing match coming up this Sunday rather. Other than that, tag team champion Big E defeats the Usos, and yes, the Usos get a tag team title shot at the Royal Rumble. Again, build up to that. No big deal on that one. Now, for the BS of the night, quite frankly. What was it? Neville, Mark Henry, Titus O'Neil, and R-Truth versus Tyler Breeze, Stardust, and The Ascension. Or basically Tyler Breeze and Cosmic Wasteland. Now, it's not the fact that this match took place, because again, this was a fill-in match, quite frankly. This is what happens when you have a 3-hour program, ladies and gentlemen. You have fill-in matches. You put the main matches that are on there, but you have to throw in fill-in matches just to kill time. This is why 3 hours suck, quite frankly. In my opinion, anyway. But the biggest bullshit about this match is, what the fuck was Tyler Breeze doing in there? Now, I heard through reliable sources that Tyler Breeze's push has been dethroned or derailed by one Vince McMahon. It wouldn't surprise me if Triple H saw this and thought, and probably was livid. It wouldn't surprise me if Triple H saw this and thought, motherfuckers, what they're doing with him. Because the fact that Tyler Breeze is in a match, he's got no business being in a match like this. They brought him up. This guy's got more talent than probably all of them, with the exception of Neville, combined. And he's getting put in stupid matches like this. He needs a push. The guy comes up, makes his debut on the main roster, and beats Dolph Ziggler cleanly at the Survivor Series. And then it was a downfall from there. Fuck's sake, If Triple H is watching this or some point, you need to take him off there and just bring him back to NXT, because he's not going to get anything. He'd be lucky to even get something. I think the biggest thing he'll get is a shot at WrestleMania. A WrestleMania match, because he won't get fuck all else. And if he does, I'll be surprised. But Vince McMahon needs to take his head out of his ass and realize he's got some talent on that roster from NXT, and he's doing fuck all with them, quite frankly. This is what scares me about NXT. Not just the males, the divas as well. The women. I mean, they bring them up to what? You're going to get used. it really frustrates me that Vince McMahon might have a funny way of showing it, but Vince McMahon has no idea what he has in respects of, the NXT roster. He's got great talent in developmental NXT roster, whatever the heck you want to call it down there, and he brings them up to the main roster and just fuck all with them. Basically, all right, he's put the Divas title on Charlotte. Whoop-de-doo. That was great at first, but this direction she's gone with Ric Flair and her daddy getting involved in that, it's just beyond stupidity. I mean, Triple H, even though he cut his long hair off, he must be pulling his hair out. He's got to have been pulling his hair out. I mean, no wonder he's held Finn Balor back. Because Finn Balor's on the verge of getting called up to the main roster. But at the end of the day, why would you allow somebody as talented as Finn Balor to go to the main roster where bullshit like this is happening with Tyler Breeze? Tyler Breeze, before long, will end up back in NXT. Just like the Ascension have ended up back in NXT. They've made a few appearances back in NXT. Why? Because they're getting jack shit on the roster. It's just ridiculous. It is just the biggest form of stupidity. It really is. And it just blows my mind. It really does. I mean, it is a scary thought when Finn Balor and people like that are coming up to the roster and probably not going to get used. And it takes someone like Triple H to wake up and think, I've got to hold these people back and plan like a long-term future for them on the main roster. Otherwise, they're going to end up back on my show and back to square one. Either that or get released. And I'll tell you this right now, Tyler Breeze was that close of being released on occasions. But, he survived. But Vince McMahon is, it's like that video says on YouTube. Go and watch it. He's out of touch. And he's damn sure out of time. But anyway, the Raw was... It was a 4 out of 5. It was a 4 out of 10 for me, to be honest with you. 2 out of 5. Not the best go home show, to be honest. I've seen better, but it was pretty much average. Nothing big, nothing new, nothing exciting. Hopefully, the Raw after the Royal Rumble will be exciting enough after what I've heard. Rumors are flying around, ladies and gentlemen, that AJ Styles will be making his debut on that show. That's what I've heard from the dirt sheets. It's not confirmed. It's a case of believing it where you see it. It's just a rumor, but that's what I've heard from the dirt sheets. There's all this talk about AJ Styles debuting after the Royal Rumble. But on the main roster as well, I might add, not on NXT. You'd be going straight to the main roster, apparently. But like I say, you believe it when you see it. All in all, though, guys, it was just a pretty average, lackluster Raw, to be honest. And it's a shame because it's supposed to be the go-home show to probably not only the biggest pay-per-view, one of the biggest pay-per-views of the year, but probably one of the most talked about Royal Rumbles that WWE will ever produce or ever create, because it's for the first time ever Roman Reigns is defending the championship, and then they have that kind of Royal Rumble. I hope that next week's Raw, the Raw after, is a great one. It has to be. But that is the end of the Raw review, and now we'll get straight onto the Royal Rumble predictions, rather. WWE Royal Rumble predictions. I've got the list right in front of me. That's why I've been messing about a little bit, because I've got the list and getting things set up. I've got the list right in front of me, right here. It is, the matches are last man standing match for the IC Championship between Dean Ambrose and Kevin Owens. The last match they'll have, and Dean Ambrose will win. And I think it's time for Kevin Owens to go on to other things now, like maybe a world title shot, or getting in that world title picture now. He doesn't need the Intercontinental Championship anymore. Dean Ambrose needs that more than him. And it's going to be a fight. If you're expecting a wrestling match in this last man standing match, then you're basically watching the wrong pay-per-view or you're watching the wrong match, because there's not going to be any wrestling in this match. There's going to be one straight fisticuffs, brawls, weapons. Yes, there'll be tables, and announce tables will probably get involved as well. But yeah, Dean Ambrose to win. Alberto Del Rio defends the US title against Kalisto, and I'm predicting Kalisto to be the new champion. It wouldn't surprise me. Don't be surprised if Alberto retains. But yeah, I'm kind of hoping to go back and put the belt back on Kalisto, because they should never have took it off him in the first place. What the WWE are doing, I don't know, with this feud or whatever it is, if you can call it a feud. I guess they'll find out with the Rumble. But yeah, I'm predicting Kalisto, but don't be surprised or don't be disappointed if Alberto Del Rio still retains. But I'm kind of hoping Kalisto will win. Tag team titles. New Day against the so-called Tag Team of the Year. Again, how can you win a Tag Team of the Year award when you were out for 6 months is beyond me. The Usos and the New Day for the tag team titles. And yes, I know there's a lot of people that are probably going to hate me for saying this. I can't stand the New Day, and I know there's probably a lot of people out there that are watching this right now that can't stand the Usos, rather. And I believe, ladies and gents, boys and girls, the Usos will win the tag team titles. Even though, to be honest, they probably don't deserve them. Considering they only came back before, I believe it was before maybe Survivor Series. I don't know. But they haven't done that much. And like I say, it still mind boggles me to this very day how they become Tag Team of the Year. I'm not saying they're not a great tag team, but how can you win Tag Team of the Year, the Slammy Award, when you were out for 6 months? You know? And one of the Usos spent the summer basically on SmackDown's commentary position. It makes no sense. It really doesn't. But yeah, I predict the Usos to win the tag team titles, because I think it's time for a change. Do I prefer it to be anybody else? Yes, it should have been probably the Lucha Dragons, but Sin Cara's out injured at the moment. So yeah, who do you go to? The seniors of the tag team division, as many people probably agree with that. Becky Lynch and Charlotte for the Divas title. I will probably see this as Charlotte retaining, but I'm predicting Becky to be the champion. Because, yeah, this whole thing with Charlotte, I think Daniel cost her the title, the way he's been opening his mouth lately and the way he accepted this match for her, and I think Daniel cost her the title. So I hope Becky Lynch will win the Divas title, but again, don't be surprised if Charlotte retains. But she needs to break away from Daddy. She seriously needs to do that. I mean, it was a great idea at first for Charlotte to be the Divas champion, but the direction she's gone with Daddy as a manager, it doesn't fit. It really doesn't fit, and it makes her look ridiculous. I mean, we all know she's Ric Flair's, Ric Flair's her dad and this, that, and the other, but she's starting to act like her dad. It's not good. It's just not good. Now for the Royal Rumble match itself, I'm predicting Roman Reigns to win this match and retain the title. However, this could go a few of many ways. There's a lot of rumors about Triple H coming back to screw Roman Reigns, which could lead to a Triple H versus Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. This talk about Triple H versus The Rock at WrestleMania, because we all know Rock's coming back for Mania. Whether he'll show up at the Rumble or not, I don't know. Who knows? The Rock may save Roman Reigns again like he did last year, and this time may lead to Triple H versus The Rock at WrestleMania. Who knows? A lot of angles that this could come out of. A lot of very dichotic angles that this could come out of as well. If Roman doesn't win the title and it does turn out to be Triple H versus Roman Reigns, then I can see Brock Lesnar becoming champion. I could see Brock Lesnar becoming champion because both of them have been involved these past 2 weeks in the storyline, which led to what happened on Raw. So if Roman doesn't win and Triple H just come back, or Roman gets eliminated and that, but I predict Roman Reigns to win. But if Roman doesn't win and it ends up being Triple H or Roman Reigns at WrestleMania, Brock Lesnar will win the title. So it's out with them two, basically. But as my prediction, Roman Reigns to win, because I think they're trying to build the hell out of him, and push him as far as they can push him. But where they're going to go with this, I do not know. After this, hopefully, will it be Roman Reigns versus Triple H? Will Roman Reigns defend the title at WrestleMania? Will Brock win it? I think Brock's got a better chance of winning it, but like I said, they're pushing Roman to the moon. Roman, I can still see from Survivor Series to where we are right now, they're leaning towards a Roman Reigns versus Triple H match. But Roman to win the Royal Rumble, it is very difficult. Maybe they're trying to push him to win the Royal Rumble from the number one position so they can have a cover say, oh yeah, Shawn Michaels and Roman Reigns, because let's face it, the other man to win the Royal Rumble from number one position other than Shawn Michaels was Chris Benoit, and they're not mentioning him anymore. So that's probably 2004 was probably a forgotten year in WWE, considering. But yeah, Roman Reigns to win prediction, but I could probably see a Chris Jericho, a Triple H versus Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar to win the Royal Rumble if that happens. Those are my two predictions. But if I had to pick a main prediction out of it, Roman Reigns to win. But like I said, there's a lot of interesting diconics and interesting angles that can come out of this situation, this Royal Rumble. Should the WWE title be on the line? Probably not. But it's Roman Reigns versus the McMahons, basically, considering what Roman's did to Triple H after TLC, at TLC rather, and then considering what Roman did to McMahon after the night after when he won the title. All in all, ladies and gentlemen, it is going to be a very interesting Royal Rumble and probably the most talked about Royal Rumble match ever this Sunday. Does it have the potential to be the worst Royal Rumble ever? Probably. It definitely has the potential to be the most predictable Royal Rumble ever. But we will see this Sunday night. And ICW as well has the same, is on the same night as well with their Square Go. And I have no idea who's going to win that match. I'd give you a prediction right now, but I have no idea who's going to win the ICW Square Go. A lot of potential winners can be in there. Jack Jester, Drew Galloway, and the list goes on and on and on. I really don't know. Who knows? Chris Renfrew might get back involved again and win the Square Go again, like he tried to do last year until Dickie Davis threw him out. But I will be here next week with a Square Go predictions and not a Square Go review at some point. If not next week, it'll be the week after. Like I say, I might be busy next week, but we'll see. We'll see how things go. But look out for that coming up. Now, there will be a Raw review video this week. A Raw review live stream. Not Raw review, a Royal Rumble live stream next week. There'll be a Raw review live stream next week as well. But there'll be a Raw review video live stream, whatever you want to call it, this week after the Royal Rumble, as normal. But I'm considering doing it a little bit early, guys. This is why I'm warning you, because I'm considering doing a voiceover podcast to the Royal Rumble match itself. I don't want to do like a Royal Rumble... I do a reactions to the Royal Rumble, watching it and giving my, oh my God moments and everything. I might do a an audio to the Royal Rumble winner, to the Royal Rumble match itself, and then after that do a Royal Rumble review, which I'm more than likely going to do. So what I'm saying is, guys, is look out for that. I'm telling you this now so I can give you the heads up for what's coming up. Like I said, I don't know if I'm going to do it yet. I'm definitely going to do the Royal Rumble review and highlights and thoughts and whatever. That'll be after the pay-per-view. But as for the review, the Royal Rumble podcast, just podcasting the whole entire match itself. Just podcasting the whole match itself. Will I do the whole pay-per-view? Probably. Probably not. I might just do the whole Royal Rumble match itself, because that's the most talked about thing of the whole Royal Rumble pay-per-view. Because the Royal Rumble, Roman Reigns defending it, people want to know what's going on. So I might just do like a Royal Rumble podcast, like a live stream of podcast, kind of in a podcast kind of way, and then break away from that and then do the Royal Rumble review, the Royal Rumble review itself. So look out for that this Sunday. I'm going to work on that during the week, and I will bring it to you this Sunday night. So the only way you could see that, though, or hear that, is if you subscribe to the channel for more information. To keep up to date with everything that goes on in this channel, you have to subscribe to the channel. So, because there's a lot of good things that come into my head, a lot of things I want to bring to you on this channel. Why? Because wrestling matters on this channel. ICW, Progress Wrestling. I have a lot of ideas floating around my head for this channel. It's just how to execute them. So the only way you can keep up to date with everything that goes on in this channel, guys, is subscribing. That's why you have to subscribe to the channel if you want to be kept up to date. Also, check out the new episode of the Wrestling Matters podcast. Was Chris Jericho the best signing WWE's ever had? Check it out. It's on the channel. It's up there now. Chris Jericho holding the Intercontinental Championship belt. It is episode 94. Be sure to check that out as well. Also, check out Max Wrestling Podcast, which episode 44, which, has me on it. Yeah. Links will be in the description below. And, yeah, guys, enjoy the Royal Rumble. I will be back after the Royal Rumble or during the Royal Rumble to do that podcast. And I will definitely do a Royal Rumble review, right? I keep saying Royal Rumble review after it. And then after that, it will be the Royal Rumble review. And then next week will be the Raw review as well. And like I said, guys, enjoy the Royal Rumble. And I'll see you next week. Strap yourselves on, guys, because we're in WrestleMania season. The most fun time of the WWE year. Wrestling matters on this channel because wrestling matters to me. My name is Anthony Walker. Enjoy the Royal Rumble, and I'll see you Sunday. Peace out.